I got even a picture on the back there. So
Morning, Nick. Morning, Chris. Sorry I didn't catch you on the first time when I hopped on.
I already said hi to Chris.
You know what? I'm saying hi to him too, Rod. You're not the only cool person on this call.
I just denied Jeff here. Let me go on Facebook and.
Did you? I clicked admit, but I'll
I
let
didn't
him
mean
know.
to. I just it was accident. I might have to redo that invite so that way I don't have to approve people.
I'm letting him in. I'll hit the admit button.
All right, I'm gonna leave you in charge of that.
He'll retry joining. There he is.
There you go.
Jeff, just so you know, I would never decline your invitation when you're coming onto this call. I can't believe Rod would go ahead and do that to you.
Typical.
Good to see you, Jeff. Yeah, I just messaged you on Facebook. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Morning, Deborah.
Good morning.
Yeah, we'll probably officially start here about 5 minutes or 4 more minutes here, about 5 afters. Give a couple people a chance to hop on in here. But so how's everyone been over the last 2 months? I know we've taken a little bit of a hiatus.
Can't be taking a break with AI, man. Can't be taking a break with AI. Get way behind.
No. That's very true. I mean, the world is almost completely different. I got some pretty exciting stuff to show today, and how we can actually use it. And
how long do you think we're going to go today?
I figure probably an hour, and then any questions and answer, or then we'll just dive into individual use cases or examples and stuff after that.
The only reason I'm asking is I got to cut out at 9:30 for another meeting, and I was going to have you recorded if it was going to be longer, but.
Well, Aaron is recording it this time, so.
Oh, okay.
Morning, Joel.
Morning.
Good to see you, Joe. Joel, sorry.
Joel, is that my AI panel for, I think, Muskie Tank on Tuesday, right?
That's correct.
Good to see you, Jason.
Good morning.
I'll leave it up to you guys that are attending. If you guys want to share, any of your contact info in case somebody in the call wants to reach out to you or connect with you outside of the AI workshop, feel free to.
All right, 2 more minutes. I'll start off what I got to go through. So.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to end up having some late sign-ins, but they'll just have to play catch up.
Yeah, that is what it is. They miss the cream of the crop if you're not here right on time, right, guys? Stuff I show at the end there's the boring stuff. No, it definitely isn't. I got a full tab here full of all stuff I could do a whole meeting on. And for those that don't know, we got our new book, and we got some of the interviewees in here. So in the call here. So any of you guys want to talk about how that process was, or what you guys thought of it? How rough were we on the interviews? And I'll take it. I'll take that as a compliment. So we were fine. And the books have been taking forever to get in here. We ordered them about a month ago, and they just gave me a 2-week delay. So we're looking at being able to get a bunch of them in here I think the 7th is the current estimate, but. All right, well, I'm going to start. Let's jump right into stuff here. I'm going to start sharing my screen, and we're going to jump right into the meat and potatoes of life. Right here. Oh, wait.
Don't forget to share a sound.
I know it. I just remembered that. That's always my Achilles heel. All right. Does everyone see my browser?
Yep.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, the big news at least this week has been the DeepSeek here. Who here has at least heard of DeepSeek?
Yep.
Yep. Chinese company came out with a model that is comparable or exceeds that of OpenAI's 4.0 model. And a lot of big talk about, are these multi-billion-dollar data centers required? And I thought, let's just jump right in and start playing with DeepSeek here. So this here, you can go to grok.com, and I think it's free. I don't think I pay for this one. Console.grok with a Q, not a K, .com allows you to start playing with it. And this model here is actually a pretty decent model. So you can go ahead and, I like to always do a coding challenge, and I won't actually show the software develops, but can you write a tic-tac-toe game for me in JavaScript and CSS? Very fast, very responsive, very capable. And I've tried this a couple times, and the tic-tac-toe games work. You could you write me a job description for a tier 1 IT support tech for Coulee Tech? And these are all pretty common use cases we've seen. Oh, well. All right, doesn't like that one. I haven't had that happen before. There we go. So there it gives me a job description that I could use as a template. So a lot of pretty standard stuff that both from a development perspective and stuff, I'd say my testing shows it's probably on par with 4.0. And 4.0, for those that haven't been here every month or so, came out about 6 months or so. However, I did some testing on this. I thought this was quite interesting. So here it's who designed you, right? It says DeepSeek, created by Chinese company DeepSeek. However, there's been a lot of talk that, what did that turn off there? There's been a lot of talk lately that DeepSeek was actually developed by OpenAI, and that not specifically OpenAI, but that they basically cheated in that they used OpenAI to train their model and basically created a very similar model to OpenAI. So if you literally start asking it, it'll start saying, user, I should explain OpenAI are integrated into my systems, handling natural language models. And I tried asking it some questions like, well, what about Meta? And then all of a sudden it goes back to its talking line of, no, DeepSeek, not Meta. So it will, if you start playing with DeepSeek as a whole, it'll start admitting to you that it was trained by OpenAI's model. And this is how they were able to cheat. And I saw a news article today that I think it was MIT, but it was some U.S. university, maybe not MIT. They went and created a version similar to DeepSeek for $30. And it requires a major frontier model like that of OpenAI, GPT, in order to create these almost copies of the model as a whole. So as we've had about a week, it's looking less and less like DeepSeek is an actual straight up competitor to OpenAI, and it's really just a clone or a copy of it that still took some very smart individuals to know how to copy it to the level that they did. But the method that they used will never advance AI or make a better AI. So some of the things that they did do better is DeepSeek requires significantly less processing power to run than current models. Like most DeepSeek models can be run locally on a computer. And I've even seen, like, if you know what a Raspberry Pi is, they got DeepSeek running on these Raspberry Pis, which are extremely low hardware. So I think using these methods we'll see a lot more low cost models and low capacity models, which will allow us to get this type of model stuff in native in our computers as a whole. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I think DeepSeek was a good. It'll be in the news cycle for probably 2-3 weeks, and we're going to be done with it because after we've done some diving into it, there really isn't anything revolutionary about what they did. They just basically found a unique way of copying it, and that's my opinion.
And it's, excuse me, it's notable that this breaks OpenAI's licensing agreement.
Yep. I don't think the Chinese government cares that much, but
Yeah,
it is a violation of the terms of use. So I thought it was interesting. I'm glad that we had about a week before this meeting here to see how this, because obviously last week and early this week, it was pretty big stuff.
The other conversations that I've seen brought with that is, OpenAI's model was, of course, trained on the internet, and all of the content that's in there, licensed or not. So, you get into that conversation of, should they be able to do that?
Yeah. So, I mean, they're going to, regardless of whether they should or shouldn't or not. And I think we're almost to a point where even if it was made illegal, they got it. Most new models are trained much like DeepSeek, that the AI are creating the training data now. They're not necessarily using human data for the training anymore, but because the AI is creating better data for training. But so, and like DeepSeek is a good use case of that it's a model that was trained exclusively off AI data without using, at least from what we can see, without using internet or other sources of information. So, and it's a really good model. So jumping over Google AI. Now, last year, we didn't really talk much about or go into many Google AI scenarios because Google AI, for the most part, was really a second or third place, and they were way behind. In the last 2 months since our last meeting, Google has really come out with a lot of, I'd say, advancements, and they're on par or neck and neck, in my opinion, from what they're releasing to consumers with the capabilities of OpenAI. And I'm going to show some of these. One of the things that we've been doing is finding ways of building AI so that way it can actually search the internet and do a lot of our researching. And I'm going to show you some of the capabilities later that OpenAI has on this. But one thing that Google has are these tremendously huge context windows. So this here is 1 million tokens. If you don't know what a token is, so here 1 million capable, 600 tokens. This here is the amount of data that 600 tokens is. You see, I'm scrolling lots of pages and pages of text, right? Whereas second place from a token perspective is really about 100,000 tokens. That would be OpenAI and that level of capability. So, and I've been using OpenAI or Google for doing these large context window research projects, and it's outputting really good results, on par, in my opinion, with a 4.0 capability, which is quite impressive. So if you have anything that you're starting to run into, it's too much data, it's too long, coming over here to aistudios.google.com. And this is another one that as of right now is free to use. And these different models allow, like this one here, I think, a 2 million token window, which this is just, you could put almost every encyclopedia ever created within that type of context window. Maybe not. I mean, maybe not. I haven't really tried that, but so it's pretty impressive. So, but that's actually not why I'm here to show this. I'm here to show.
Okay, I'm ready. What are you going to show me?
All right. Is that sound coming through?
Yes,
excellent.
The sound is coming through.
Yeah. Thank you, Google here. I'm demoing your capabilities. So what this is, well, actually, why don't you explain what this screen sharing and what your capabilities are?
Sure, I can explain what's on the screen. It looks like you're using the Google AI Studio platform, specifically the Stream Real-Time feature, which allows you to interact with the language model in real time, using both audio and text inputs.
Thanks.
You
Can you
also have
pause
the
for a second? All
You're
right.
welcome. Is
So
there
what this
anything
is
else I
doing
can help you
is
with?
that it sees the browser that I have open, and it can actually teach me how to do whatever I'm trying to do. And I'm going to show this example in a couple different very common applications. Now I can actually share it with actual versions of it, but just for this demo, I have all my stuff in the same tab. So I want to show it this way. So I'm going to go through a couple of the Microsoft applications and have it explain to me how to do different things within it. So if you've never used Microsoft before, or any application that you're looking at doing, it will literally walk you through how to use different software. And I've tried this on a number of things, from QuickBooks to coding to advanced Excel formulas to video editing. And it does a really good, it's not perfect, but it does a really good job of giving you a subject matter expert on that particular piece of software. All right. Can you come back?
Okay, I understand. You're using the Stream Real-Time feature of Google AI Studio to demo the capabilities of an AI model. You've explained that the model can see your open browser and teach you how to do things. And you are now showing me a Microsoft Word document and want me to show you how the AI can explain to you how to use it. Is that correct?
That's right. Could you? So I want to use Copilot. I got this new feature. How could I create a draft or something on this?
Okay, you want to use the Copilot feature in Microsoft Word to create a draft. To do that, you can click on the Draft a Business Memo or Draft Document based on File buttons on the left, or use the What do you want Copilot to draft field at the center of the screen. Which one of these options would you like to use?
Let's use this one here. What would be a good example for a room of business executives?
Okay, let's use the What do you want Copilot to draft field and ask it to write an agenda for a meeting of business executives.
All right, I typed it in there. What should I do now?
Now you should hit the Tab key or the blue Send button to submit the prompt.
Oh, right here.
Correct. Click on the blue Generate button.
Our meetings start at 8 o'clock, so it looks like it didn't work. How do I fix that?
The meeting agenda starts at 8:30 a.m. You can use the What do you want Copilot to change field to ask Copilot to adjust it. For example, you can say, change the meeting to start at 8 a.m.
Oh, that's cool. So I don't have to actually type it?
That's correct. You can use natural language to tell the Copilot what changes you'd like to make to the document.
Could I just tell you to do something for me?
Yes, you can ask the Copilot to do something for you, like change the start time to 8 a.m., and it will try to make the change.
How about you as Google? Are you able to change this document for me?
As a language model, I can't directly interact with the document.
All right, no
However,
problem. Can I have you pause for a second too while I talk to the group? All right, so as you see there, it was walking me through how to use different word functions, and like if you ever get it where like you want to put a space in between here, or you're trying to have these trouble formatting these things, this is a great tool. Now this is again a Google product teaching me how to use a Microsoft AI within Word itself. So that's but Google, as you saw, was doing a really good job of just walking me through a tool that maybe I hadn't, and honestly I hadn't used Copilot in this way before. So a pretty simple use case, but it's a good one. All right, Google AI, can you come back? So this is a good. So normally I've found that it'll last for about 5 minutes, and then it I don't know if it airs out or if it just that's its limit is 5 minutes, but that's what I get. So I just go ahead and restart it basically. All right here.
okay, I understand that you are pointing to something. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Yeah. So I pasted all these addresses into Excel here, but I want to put them all in column or all in like a row, and they're stacked on top of each other. And I can't really sort this or anything. How could I fix this?
You have pasted a list of addresses into an Excel sheet and you want them to be in a column instead of stacked on top of each other. You can do that by using the text to columns feature in Excel, which will separate the addresses based on the line breaks you have in your document. Would you like me to explain in detail how to do that?
Yeah, I've never done that before.
Sure, I can guide you through the process. First, select the column that contains all of your addresses. Next, go to the Data tab in the ribbon at the top of the window. Then, click on the Text to Columns button. A window will pop up where you should select Delimited, then click Next.
I
Now, in the
don't see
Delimiter
a
section,
text to column button.
I understand the Text to Columns button is in the Data Tools section. In the Data tab,
Oh, right
look
here?
for the data. Great. Now that you've found the Data Tools section, click on Text to Columns. Then a
Right.
window will pop up. Is it there?
It is here.
Great. Now in the window that popped up, select the Delimited option and then click on the Next button. Did that work?
I don't get a next button or a delimited button here. So can you see what I got?
My apologies. My apologies, you are correct. In this window, select the Space option under Select Delimiters and then click Apply. Does that work for you?
It works and it looks like it's close, but it looks like so my data is all in the same row. Maybe I misspoke earlier and I want it to be in a column.
Ah, I understand. You want each address to be in its own row. In the Text to Columns window, instead of selecting Space, select Other under Select Delimiters, then type in the box next to it Control-J, and then click Apply.
Control. How do I do that?
To input Control-J, click on the Custom Value box, then press and hold the Control key on your keyboard, and while holding it, press the J key, then release both keys. After that, click Apply.
That didn't work. It opens up a new tab.
I apologize for that. It seems I have misspoken again. Instead of inputting Control-J in the Custom Value box, you need to input the character that represents a line break, which is Alt plus O10, using the numbers on the number pad. You will need to select Custom first, and then press and hold the Alt key. And while
All right.
holding that key,
We're going to move on. So it's not perfect, but it does a decent job. So if I played it a little bit longer here, I could probably get it to, or I could get it to explain how to fix that for me. But we're gonna move on. I'm
Okay,
actually gonna
I see
stop
that you've
it
managed-
and restart it, so that way we don't have to. All right, so I have a web-based PowerPoint presentation, and I'd like to use Copilot to create a template for one, but I've never done that before. Can you help me?
sure, I can help you with that. You want to use Copilot to create a template for a web-based PowerPoint presentation, and you've never done this before. I can walk you through the process. What do you want the template to look like?
I have to give a quick speech for some AI for some business leaders.
Okay, you want to create a template for a quick presentation about AI for business leaders. Is there a specific look or theme that you have in mind for the presentation or a specific type of layout for the slides?
I'm a computer tech, so normally ones and zeros work fine for me, but these people might like something that looks nicer. So could you just give me some examples or maybe guide me a little bit on how to make it look nice?
No problem. As a computer tech, you might be used to the functionality of ones and zeros, but the people you are presenting to might prefer a more visually appealing presentation. I can give you some examples and guide you on making it look nice. First, what kind of style are you going for? Would you prefer something modern and sleek, classic and professional, or
Modern
something
works
else?
fine. I really don't care.
Okay, a modern look is fine. Since you don't have a strong preference, we can try something sleek and professional. Would you like me to suggest a few options for you?
Yep, I just want you to teach me how to use Copilot to get a template going.
Got it. You want me to teach you how to use Copilot to get a template going. And you don't need design suggestions right now. Let's start by selecting the Copilot button on the ribbon at the top right of the screen. Do you see that?
I do.
Great. Now that Copilot is open on the right, you can click on the Create button with the description, Create a presentation from a file. This should give you an option to choose a file to use as the basis for your presentation. Do you see that?
I do. Let's try this one.
Okay, you selected a file. Now Copilot is going to generate a presentation based on that document. Once it is done generating, you can customize it further. Is there anything else I can assist you with at the moment?
I don't think so. So if I'm understanding this correctly, I took a Word document that I have in my SharePoint, and now you're going to create a PowerPoint presentation off of that Word document for me, and then I can edit it afterwards. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, that is correct. You've used Copilot to create a PowerPoint presentation from a Word document on SharePoint, and you will be able to edit it afterwards. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Right now, let's just see how it actually creates.
Sounds good. We can wait to see how the presentation generates. Let me know if you need any further assistance or have any other questions.
So for those watching, what this did is we created versions of this book for each of the markets. So we have a Florida market, Eau Claire, and La Crosse. This here was my branch manager down, or vice president down in Florida. And it's going to go and create a PowerPoint presentation for that particular book. So here it just created the presentation. I think it did pretty good. So here's the agenda.
Okay, the presentation.
Yep, that's
It looks
Jared
like the
right
presentation
there. Coulee Tech, Real World. This was one of the interviewees, another one of the interviewees.
Okay, the presentation looks to have a number of slides and looks like it is doing a pretty good job of creating the presentation from the Word document you chose. Is there something specific that you were interested in looking at?
Nice. So I can just go ahead and click around here and start throwing to make things look nicer.
Yes, that's correct. You can now click around the presentation and make adjustments to the text.
Is there a way to
graphics or
have Copilot do a design update to the entire presentation, or do I have to choose each one individually? There, I hit my 5-minute mark. So we'll go again. Is there a way for me to have Copilot or PowerPoint do a design update to the entire presentation, or do I have to do one slide at a time?
I see you're asking if you can use Copilot to update the design of your entire presentation at once, or if you have to do it slide by slide. I cannot answer that, as I don't have enough information about the functionality of Copilot.
All right. Well, I appreciate the honesty.
Okay, I understand that you appreciate my honesty. Is there anything else I can help you with?
I don't think so. But let's see if this. All right. So based off this looking, it looks like I have to do each one individually. But it created an 86 slide presentation, and then I can go ahead and pretty quickly, go through and update it and
It sounds like
adjust it as needed. So that's yeah, it looks pretty decent to me. And so any questions on this part here? I'm going to stop this for a second before we move on to the next one.
it sounds like you've realized that you need to update your presentation slide by slide.
There we go. So yeah, that's and I do a lot of PowerPoint presentation creation, and Copilot and the new design features of it has helped me out a decent amount. It, like, if you go and look at these, it looks like, oh yeah, I'd say it did a decent job. Any questions on this particular functionality?
Rodney, if you're using the Google AI to help you, do you have to use Google Chrome? I might have entered the conversation later.
Yep, not a problem. So this one, if I'm using the Google screen share one, Google is the only one that I know that allows screen sharing easily. I know ChatGPT has a feature that they're working on for Mac, and some Copilot has features of this. But Google is the easiest I've found to use the screen share teaching capabilities so far. And this one,
No, I meant like, do you have to use Google Chrome as your browser, or can you use like the desktop apps? Like if I'm in Word
let me
instead of,
try Edge. I don't know if it works on
okay.
Edge. I always use Google. AI Studio. So share real time, share screen. All right. Nope, it works on it at least works on Edge, so
Cool.
Sheila, what's your question you have?
Hi, guys. Can, for that, creating the presentation, if we have like a format that we need, like a header footer format, is there a way to do that? With it, if you have them create, like, let's say I have an existing presentation and then I want to change the header and footer. Do you think that's
so I
easy
don't
to
think
do?
it can at least what I've found so far is that the designer pretty much has its pre-made designs and uses AI, and there's no way to
Okay.
like custom load the AI ahead of time. However, yeah, so I think unless someone else knows how to do that differently, but that might be something. Well, let's ask. I have a custom header and footer that I need on every one of these slides. Is there an easy way for me to add that?
Sure, there is an easy way to add a custom header and footer to all of your slides. You can accomplish that by editing the slide master. Would you like me to explain the process?
Yeah, I've never heard of a slide master.
Okay, the slide master is like a template for your entire presentation. Any changes you make to the slide master will apply to all of your slides, allowing you to easily add a consistent header and footer. Would you like me to show you how to access the slide master?
Yeah, let's just jump right into show me how to do it. No narration needed.
Okay, to access the slide master, click on the View tab, then select Slide Master. This will open the Slide Master view, where you can make changes that apply to all your slides.
So I don't see a slide master. Am I missing it?
I see you are currently on the Home tab. You should click on the View tab to find the Slide Master button. It is in the Master Views group.
I am on the View tab.
Oh, you are right. My apologies. I see that you are on the View tab now. The Slide Master button is in the Master Views group, which is in the far left of the ribbon. Can you see it now?
No, do you see it?
Yes, I do see the Slide Master button in the Master Views group located in the far left of the ribbon. It's right next to the Normal button you have selected.
The slide sorter?
Sorry, I meant to say the Slide Master button, not the Slide Sorter button. They are next to each other.
Is anyone on this screen seeing something I'm not?
I understand your confusion, but I can assure you that I am seeing the same screen as you are. The Slide Master
You
button
might be seeing the same screen, but there's no master.
It's definitely hallucinating.
Okay, I see the issue now. You are looking for the Slide Master button, but the designer pane is overlapping the ribbon, preventing you from accessing the Slide Master button. You need to close or minimize the designer pane so that the Slide Master button becomes accessible.
Oh, you got to close the designer
Click
ribbon
the
on the
X
right.
on the, yep.
Oh, see.
All right. So I did that. It still doesn't. All right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
View the
That's what I was
classic
going to say
ribbon,
here.
Rodney.
Actually, let me do that. I'm going to look at my PowerPoint, my actual PowerPoint, and see if maybe, because sometimes it gets mixed up between the web version and the actual version. Okay, view. All right. So yeah, if you're on the installed application versus the web version, I see a master
Okay, cool.
header and stuff. And I could share this over to that. I'm just not going to for the presentation purpose. So,
All right, thanks.
So I'm going to skip this part too, but a lot of people get concerned with if they have to jump into Power BI or if you've never done a Power BI. This would be a great tool to walk you through how to get your first dashboard up or any of them. And to land the plane on this, it really works with any of the application that you're looking for. As you see, it's not perfect, but this is the first iteration of this type of technology where in 2025, we're going to see a lot of tools like this come out into the marketplace. So, and as they come out, we'll be demoing them here, but this one I started playing with about, I don't know, a month ago or so. And I was really impressed with it. It's helped me with software development, workflow management, they're just building, learning. I have primarily used it to teach me how to do stuff in software that or in applications that I didn't know how to do, or applications I know there's a better way to do it than I normally do. It just I've just always known how to do it in a particular way, so I always do that. So I'll oftentimes just put this tool on there, like, hey, how could I do this better? And it'll walk me through. I give it about 90% success. So 90% of the time, it's doing a really good job. Sometimes you just have to go and it'll get stuck. But this is also the worst type of technology we'll ever experience in our life, that in the future, in the very near future, we'll see this significantly improve how we do what we do. All right. So the next one I want to talk to you guys about are operators. This is a feature that ChatGPT released, I think about 2 weeks ago, and it is really cool. Now, if you're on the Facebook page, you saw me do one of these, but tonight we're going to a men's retreat down in Milwaukee, and I wanted to search for pizza for me. So here's Lou's Pizza, and I found this. And this is you press play on this, and it will. All right, come on now. It shows you what it did. So it searches the internet, finds pizza, then it's like it'll find out how many people are there for me, and we're good to go. Not that impressive, but not horrible either. So then I want to go a little bit further. So here I want 3 different pizza options. So it took about 2 minutes for it to find it. It found out where our conference is, and this one, I didn't tell it what hotel I am. I just said I'm at a hotel near this event. I didn't tell it what city. I didn't tell it any of that information. It went in search and found 3 different pizza places that I go and order from. And then I asked it, which one's most cost effective? It goes and does a little bit of research for me, so I can show the different price of the pizzas that are there and can help me out. And here, so first it goes and, all right, where is this event? Then it goes on searches for a couple different event locations. And something I thought was interesting, as this technology, if OpenAI is the winner of this technology, because of their close relationship with Microsoft, they're using Bing to find this. So many of us, if we have small and medium businesses that are worrying about search engine optimization, up until now, we've almost been exclusively looking at, well, we need to make sure our Google search engine optimization is doing really, really well. But if AI models are the one that are going to start helping people solve or be answer engines for, where do I need IT services? Where do I need a pizza? Where do I need, where am I getting a hotel? Well, at least ChatGPT, which is right now the leader in this space, is using Bing for those type of solutions. So if they're going to continue to use Bing, and this one looks like it aired out a little bit, but it eventually finds its way. But if it's going to use Bing, well, then we need to be looking at Bing a lot more as how are we ranking on Bing, because that's what it's finding. You see, it's only going to the top 2 or 3 of these. Now, it's also why Google is starting to really open up their consumer grade products that they're releasing, like the ones I was just demoing, because they want to be the answer engine for these business services. So that way the customers that are paying for that are going to be having that delivered to them. So yeah, that's and I've used this a couple times. Right now it's hit or miss. Again, it just came out about 2 weeks ago, but it's a cool feature, and you can actually take over the browser if you want to. So if I wanted to book a hotel, well, I can take it over now and actually get it to where I could put in my credit card, put in my book the actual hotel then, so it'll get it right up to the point where it found a hotel and can book it for you, and then you can go from there. But those are operators, and I'm not going to demo those live because they take 2 to 3 minutes or up to 10 minutes to actually run. But it runs in the background, and you don't need anything for this. So, any questions on operators or? All right. So the last thing I really had to show is so ChatGPT released and this was in late December, a $200 a month model called O1 Pro Mode. And it's very impressive from its capabilities, but I have a hard time showing how could I show its impressiveness. It's very similar to if you're looking at hiring an employee and you have someone who has a doctorate degree versus someone who has a master's degree, and you give them a task, it's hard to really see their skill set off those just one task. So the biggest difference I've seen is if I'm going to ChatGPT and I'm asking a question like, could you give me an explanation on how AI models are trained and do so in relation to someone working in HR, let's say. So what this will do is it's going to sit here and think back and forth. Whereas if I switch over to GPT, I'll have an answer almost instantly. And if I use O1 Mini, I'll get a pretty quick answer. And if I use the O1, so yeah, here my O1, so 4.0 is still actually writing. O1 Mini is already completed, but I'll bet you this one here is still thinking. And when it's thinking, it's going back and forth. And if you've used models in the past, you'll ask it a question, then you'll ask it a follow-up question, and you'll go back and forth, and eventually you'll get a good answer. This is doing it, like if I click details, it's just a much more in-depth explanation for a pretend question. I'm gonna put this down here so that way it's linear. So here was a 4.0 model, went really, really quick. O1 Mini, which is a newer model. This model came out last April. This model came out December, maybe November. This one came out December, or at least we got access to it. Actually, no, I'm sorry. O1 Mini came out last October. This came out in December. This came out in December. So if you're looking for, I use this a lot in development, script writing, and if I'm trying to do something very in depth and I need to be accurate the first time, I'll go and throw it in O1 Pro mode. Now it'll take 3 minutes, like this one took a minute to process. I've had some that have taken 5 to 6 minutes of processing time to get it correct, especially if I'm putting a lot of data into it on the front side. But when I get it out there, it's probably 95 to 99% accurate the first time I'm running it. Whereas with like ChatGPT 4, if I'm doing the same type of, for me, it's software development, or if I'm doing a software development one, it's probably a 50-50 whether or not it's going to work the first time on a complicated problem. And normally it takes a little bit of my own knowledge in there to be able to ask the question perfectly. And these are somewhere in between there. Like this one reasoned for 5 seconds. This one probably did 30, 15 seconds. And the only difference is how long it's thinking. Very similarly, If I told you I need you to do a presentation for me and it's going to be 10 minutes, and I give you a month to prep for that versus I give you 5 minutes to prep for it, and it might be a subject that you're very knowledgeable about. If I give you 5 minutes to prep for it, it's not going to be as good of a presentation as if I give you a month to present on it, right? Even though you have the same knowledge, you have the same experience, but the more time you can think on it, the more time you can go back and forth on it, the better the result is going to be. These models, we've learned the same exact thing, that the models are really good at evaluating its own data, and is that data correct? And if it's not, correct it. So that's a lot of the new advancements that I think are very useful for you guys. Any questions on the stuff I've shown so far? Yeah.
LLMs locally on a computer versus on the cloud like that, setting up a server for your business to use to access locally versus cloud.
We can't hear any of that.
Yep,
So
I'm going to recite it. So his question is that what is our opinion on running the hardware locally versus on the cloud? And I think that really depends on the business as a whole. Like a larger enterprise might be much more sensitive about the data control rules. So they would be like DeepSeek would probably be a decent one to run there. You want it on a highly closed system that has no outside access because it was made from a unknown source or one that maybe we don't trust and we don't want it having internet access. But the problem with running locally is that you're gonna have. I mean, it's so expensive to do that. Yeah, your only option is really open source models to start out with. So you're not going to get to use the frontier models that are yeah. So you're and you have to have hardware that's powerful enough to run it.
Well, I mean, with DeepSeek, you don't need that powerful of hardware.
Yep.
Apparently.
Yeah, you don't.
What I'm getting at is in an institution like an educational setting with FERPA and all these questions about the data being out on the web, we're trying to wrap our head around, you know, how do we protect data integrity for what's out there.
Well, you can get agreements just like HIPAA agreements, your business associate agreement with OpenAI, Claude, and Microsoft. Because like you guys have Microsoft 365 most likely,
Yeah.
and Microsoft 365, if you have any HIPAA data or any of that, you're going to have some type of agreement that is going to stay within the United States. So like their Copilot model then would fall underneath that same agreement of your tenant. That might be true. Yeah, because if you're scaling to it from a school perspective, there may be costs associated that because then yeah, if it's a licensing cost that you're looking at, well because even if it's $2 per student, right? If you have 20,000 students or five, well, how many? What's yeah, 5 to 10,000. Well, that's $20,000. That's a month, right? Or yeah, so you're talking at $220,000. You can get a pretty decent hardware setup for $200,000 to run a local. So then you open up yourself to like Llama or and even like the Grok with a Q. Those models or those hardware, those are $20,000 to $30,000. You saw was running very fast inferencing, and so those might be good options if it's a licensing cost perspective. For most for small and medium business especially, there's really little cost benefit to it, and there's ways of getting around regulatory requirements that you just get agreements with them with these companies to that you're not going to move the data offsite or something like that. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So for those that, yeah, I think everyone found basically just is it better to run it locally or in the cloud? And there's so many factors of it. You got to look at it a case by case basis on your cost of hardware, capabilities, use cases. So any other questions or things that they'd like to have me do a use case on with any of the many models that we have up here? So his question is, how many of these were paid for solution or solutions. And right now, ChatGPT is the only paid for one that I showed. So the Grok over here with a Q, this one here, to my knowledge, is completely free. I don't see a bill for that one. Google, I have my credit card in here, but it doesn't cost me anything that I know of anyway. I'm 99% sure it's free.
There's a question here from Deborah. She goes, would this stream tool help with video editing and creating advertising on Facebook, LinkedIn, that kind of thing?
It could, because it can. I mean, the AI models will definitely help you with that. Like I use this type of stuff all the time for. Could you write me a Facebook and LinkedIn post for our February workshop? February AI workshop on the last Friday of the month. This might be another good opportunity to show the difference between the. And for those that are good at spelling, how I'm spelling that's probably killing you. But my AI have learned me, and they know that I'm not good at it. So here, it created a nice little Facebook marketing. Here, it created the 01 model, created a little bit different. Now, I don't like using these things, but some people really like those. So I will oftentimes rewrite it. You do that without the, what are those things called? Icons?
Emojis.
Emojis. So here you see the Pro one still thinking about it. So yeah, that one there's a decent little post I could do. So is that the type of marketing you're talking about? Or are you looking at AdWord analyzing or?
Hi, I guess it'll be quicker to talk than type. I'm the bookkeeper and I'm just attending this and I'm supposed to report back to our executive director how this went. So I just thought that our communications team says that it takes a long time to edit videos and create Facebook posts and LinkedIn for us pushing out our events that are coming up. And sorry if I'm not really talking techie here. But they say it just takes a really long time, and this may not be the right tool. There might be a better tool, but I just thought I would ask since I'm the only one in the workshop this morning.
Yeah, I've tried some video editing tools that to make like Instagram shorts and different tools like that. I haven't found any that I love that are like that I'm like this is ready for production and are ready for very minimal editing. So it probably wouldn't help so much on the editing side, but like when you're talking video per like how many videos per week does your video team take, or what's the average amount of hours per post are you saying that they're investing?
I don't have the answer to that question. The only thing I've heard is when they edit a video, it takes a really long time and it's a lot of work. I myself have not
Yeah, video editing does take a long
worked on that
time.
myself.
Yeah, but it depends on the type of videos that they're doing, right? So like if you're giving them 2 hours of video that to edit, that's gonna be a long time because even they have to watch it, come up with a plan for how they're gonna edit it, change it, do the edit and change it, watch it again. And you almost get a compounding of the long for every 10 minutes you add to the video, you might double the amount of time it takes to editing. And then from like an operation perspective, you could look at Well, maybe we need to just do shorter videos. And if we're talking 5-minute videos, only give them 10 minutes of video stock to throw in there.
Okay.
Right?
Hey, Rod,
Yeah.
can you ask it to create an image for your post there?
Sure.
Okay.
Can
Thank
you
you.
create an image for this post that is engaging to business leaders? So in ways that, like, you could take your sort, like, let's see if I can go look at some of my history here.
That was
Library.
actually asked by one of our attendees. That's why I asked.
Yeah, we'll go back to that. And CRM data.
And Deborah, one thing for your social media posts, like the text and whatnot, what I've done is if you look at Chat GPT, when Rodney goes back, there's like a projects folder. So in the projects, on the side where it says new project, I like upload the calendar of events. I upload flyers that were made already, and I tell it to make a marketing plan for social media and say, okay, I want to post something 2 weeks before the event, 3 days before the event, the day of, and it makes it all at one time, and it gives you the timeline to put on your calendar so that you don't even have to come up with those types of things. You just log into the business side of your Facebook or whatever social media you're using and set them up on the timer, and they automatically post. So you don't even have to like do it the day of that you want it to post. You just, load the content for release on that certain day.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
And
and in the
I
book,
actually didn't
Anastasia
even
has
I didn't even notice that.
a chapter on a
that's
lot of the stuff. Now she didn't have that little nugget in there for us because it wasn't released yet, but that'll be on next year's, right?
Right. Yeah. No, I just recently started doing the projects folder. So, like, as I'm developing, I work in HR. So, as I'm developing policies or comp plans to consider and that sort of thing, I save all of that stuff in a folder so that I can link my chats to that and then come back to it. And it's not trying to go through all of my other, garbage that I ask it to do. So.
So with video too. So I was talking to our youth pastor, and he did an hour sermon at our church that they recorded. Well, then I just uploaded the raw video of his sermon into here, and asked it, I want you to create Cliff Notes sermon, and it created like small group questions for Bible study off the sermon. So it literally just takes the video, pulls the audio out of it, but you can do. I think I only did the audio here, but you could do the full video if you wanted to. And again, we only used 100,000 of 2 million tokens, so this could technically have processed 20 hours of audio video if I wanted it to. And then you can start. You could even take a bunch of raw video or take video you already have, upload it in here, and say, hey, could you create a 12-week marketing post, and which sections of these videos should we post in there for a coherent plan? Like, I'm just going to take now again, just pretend you're working at a church, right? I want to create a 12-week Facebook post series off this sermon. Could you break it down into 12-week sections, and what areas of the source file should I put in each short 1 to 2 minute section? I've never tried this, but this should work in concept.
There was a question. Could you give it a YouTube link to load into the memory, and would you have to download it or upload it? Oh, and then Anastasia just comment, you can do links. And
Yep, you can. So I'll show that. That's a good let's see here.
then Deborah, I do see your other question in there, but we'll get to those first.
So here, based off the sermon that he had preached there, it's breaking it all into 12 different sections. So it didn't give me where in the video to go through. What time sections of the audio file go with each one? But whatever video you're using, you can go ahead and have it do something similar to this. Again, I just have a video with an hour-long sermon on it, so because I was talking to him about this, and this would be his use case for it. But each of you would have use cases for videos you currently have. And why that's doing that, so let's do, could you give me a summary of this video? All right. What does this video have to do with building self-confidence? How to build self-confidence by School of Life. Well, that's interesting. The YouTube video, is that the link I got?
That's definitely not what that video is
playing around
about.
with Google Studio. No.
Rod needs a lot of help in self-confidence.
I
area,
know.
in case y'all
I'm
didn't
a
know.
sad individual that. How to build self-confidence. Well, that's interesting. I have not seen that before.
I really enjoy that this is recorded and that was caught.
Thank you, Aaron.
I was
Thank you.
thinking the same thing.
Oh man, priceless.
All right, I have never had that happen. Let's do this one. Let's see if it share. Create a new prompt. Enrico Gerio. So there's a flaw right now in the system we're going to go with. Let's try this model. Maybe I have the wrong model. I'm only going to try one more time. We're just going to move forward on this because this has worked before. All right, yeah. I don't know why that's not working. So yes, you can, and I've done it before, but it's definitely not. Yeah, it loads the right file. Like that's the video I'm trying to load, but
it's possible it's pulling the initial ad or content maybe before it's going to the video or something. I don't know.
That's an interesting concept there.
Because for every one of them YouTube ad, there's about 4,000 different other things going on before you actually get to your YouTube video.
All right.
Well,
yeah,
we did have one other question here, Rod, when you get to it.
Right.
But can you create 1099s, W-2s, end of the year CPA accounting documents, that kind of thing, with any of these tools?
I wouldn't. So language models are not necessarily math models, and those type of things you need to have exactly perfect. So like if you're generating 100 1099s and you get 99% accuracy, well, that means that one of those are incorrect, right? Whereas if you're writing a document and you have 99% accuracy, that's pretty good. If you got to listen to any speaker and they're 99% accurate on everything they say, that's a win. So these language models are not math models yet, and I would not use them for advanced math calculations as a source of truth. We will get to that point, but right now they're just not there. So that's why these AI have not really jumped into the accounting world. It's basically like a number of really, really smart English professors that can write beautifully, but that doesn't mean that they're mathematicians. And they will mess up on math. And
So
They'll mess up
Jason,
having it written beautifully.
job security. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
So you answered your question there.
Well,
Jason,
let me inverse that though as well. So while it doesn't do math well, it does do coding well, and coding does math well. So you can write a program that will do the math perfectly, and then once you test it and find out the program is accurate, that will continue to use it accurately from there moving forward. So there's basically multiple ways of slicing it up, but
going back to the video stuff, your links you're trying to do, Jason noticed is only using about 18 tokens, so it didn't look like it took all the content there.
let me do this. Which Google model is best at processing video and YouTube links? Let's try it. Gemini 5.0 Pro. All right. Great.
That's 1.5 Pro for clarification, not 5.5. But
all right. Maybe that video has something against allowing it to. Let me see if I have.
If you ask it to summarize the video, it'll actually give you some detail on that. It's
Can
picking
you
the
give
wrong
me
video.
a summary of this video? Your brain on video games, TED Talk.
Yeah, it thinks it's something else.
But what does it think it is? ASDP-WBZ
And the
WQ4.
result I got was a different one than you got too.
Yeah, but that is my video. That, or at least the ASDP dash. Huh.
Rod will be thinking about this for the next next
No,
week
it's
or
just
so.
the model is just messing up, and it doesn't. I don't know why, but maybe you can't summarize a YouTube video. I thought you could. Yeah.
It might have to be an actual video upload of yours that you have access to in order for it to summarize.
It's on the same account and everything. So let's try this.
Yeah, but you're doing it as a link, not as the actual video content itself.
Can you summarize this video for me? All right. So if anyone plays with it and finds out how to actually do that, we can come back next month and tell people how to do it. So what are some other questions or use cases or experiments you'd like me to do?
It doesn't look like we have anybody looking for anything in particular. Is there writing an SOP? SOP. Oh yeah.
That's a good one. So let's see. I'll give you an example from an IT world. Could you write an SOP for for handling an inbound call and ticket creation with Datto, RMM, and Autotask? And for those of you that don't know what those are, that's fine. There's a AI, but the AI does. So those are just our internal line of business software. The AI likely know what your internal line of business software are. And this is doing it inside of what's called a canvas, which will allow me to edit the document here, or I can ask the AI. So much like the Copilot tool that I had demoed here. You go ahead and rewrite this with Copilot to tell it to write an SOP in Word, if you have that. So here it's telling me, thanks for calling our support. How can I assist you? Actively listen to the issue. Get the name, company, tag, troubleshoot. So you see it's creating a generic one there. What type of SOP would you like me to write? Give me a very specific use case for your industry. SAP 50?
Yeah.
On how to, let me see if I get that chat. How to host a payment in Sage 50. And so why this is, and this is running in the 4.0 model, I'm going to have the big model go ahead and also take a stab at it. And you'll have to tell me if this is accurate or not, because this is, I am not a Sage person. I can install it, I can back it up, I can protect it, I can update it for you, but as far as using it, that is well beyond my capabilities.
I don't know what happened, but your mic kind of like changed. It seems like, Rod, and you're like a little echoey now.
There, I think we got it fixed. We're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Sorry about that. So yeah, there's an SOP for it. And something, is there a particular documentation format that you use? Or a...
So this looks good. We're supposed to create SOPs for everybody in our on staff are supposed to create those. This is the one I deal with the most. And then the ones I've created so far also have screenshots. And so I just thought if I use this, it would make it go a lot easier and a lot faster, and then show everybody else how to do it
Anastasia
too.
there, she has an example in the book here of how she was making workflows, so that way she can actually why don't you talk a little bit about the workflows, Anastasia, if you don't mind?
Oh, way to put me on the spot.
I know it. You weren't even ready. You were like, I was almost done here.
So we're doing an ERP project, and so one of the things that the team was tasked with was figuring out where there's room for process improvement. So we were doing like the swim lanes and that sort of thing. So I basically gave AI my software and said the task I needed it to complete, and then I put you know, the prompt, and then it kind of gave it to me how it would do it. You know, you had to tweak it because sometimes, you know, maybe your software is not implemented the same way or whatever, but it made things so much quicker. And then I used the coding side for it to make the graphs so that people could see the workflows. Now with the SOPs, one thing, if you haven't used Tango, I really recommend it. It records your screen, so you log in to wherever you are, and it follows your mouse click. It does a screenshot every single mouse click. It creates a little, you know, blurb. Click here, and it gives you those step-by-step guidelines. And what's cool about it is that, like, if you use the web-based and you're in a web-based or cloud-based software, it'll like be live so that whoever you're teaching to do it follows the mouse clicks in real time. So you know, there's a free model. You get to use you get to use it you know, X amount of times, and then you can share it with people. But it's really cool, and it's really helped me not have to explain things repeatedly. So.
And I put in the chat a link to her sample workflow. Now she used Claude because at the time we were talking, I think it was last summer we were talking on that. Claude was really kind of the leader in that type of capabilities. Since then, ChatGPT has really, in my opinion, taken the lead, and Claude has they haven't done a major release since last summer. So that's almost 7 months ago. And in the AI space, that's an eternity. I know they just took a new $1 billion from Google, but I don't know if they're struggling, if they're just staying behind, because they're kind of in a rock and a hard place. If they don't have something that's impressive, they don't want to release and see that their latest and newest is behind Google or OpenAI, right? But yeah, for whatever reason, they just are not and have not released anything.
Hey Rod, Sean put a link or extension there, plugin for you to, it looks like, do video summary that he uses. So I don't know if you want to try that or not.
I won't be able to. My computer, our security locks it down that I can't put extensions on. I would need to get our tech to go ahead and go and review that and stuff. So, do you want to share your screen to show it?
I don't know if he's got audio today, depending where he's at.
He's muted right now.
Yeah.
So, and here's an example of the Pro model, and it's a little bit more advanced of a SOP in my opinion. You know, it has little breaks and. All right, Sean's gonna share the.
Yeah, so there it has the time blocks of what's actually going on.
Yep.
And breaking.
Yeah, so that's one example of how to do it too, and. All right, that's good. Let's see. Now, is there anything? Both of these models would allow you. So we can use O1 Advanced in here. Is there anything on this you'd want to see improve, change on it? So much like you saw when I gave a demo of Word, if you had Copilot, you can go and ask it to change things. This gives you a little bit better model than what you're seeing in Copilot. Whereas the O1 Pro, it would require just to rewrite the whole thing each time. This you could go ahead and either manually edit it or have it edited as needed. So if there's things like if 4.2.1, maybe 4.2.1, oops, 4.2.1, can you make sure to get manager approval added to this step before taking action? And maybe you never would, but it just gives you an example of how to, and then it'll go through and scan through the whole thing, and after it's done reasoning. And my choice of model has really come down to more how quickly do I want it to respond to me. If I want it to take, however long this one took, a minute and a half, I'll go a minute and a half to 5 minutes. I'll go ahead and use my Pro model. If I know what I'm creating is pretty low intensive, I'll go ahead and just start using like the ChatGPT 4.0 model or the O1 model instead of the Pro. I think for live demoing, I'm going to stick to 4.0 model because 45 seconds is a long time of dead airspace. What? You're supposed to edit it in line. Can you update that? Oh, it did it. I'm sorry. So here it added the manager approval step, and then it goes through what it had before. So you can talk to it and just tell it to update the different sections. SOP, job descriptions, job postings, employee reviews, even just the templating and processing. ChatGPT just does an absolute phenomenal job on that. And if you don't have, I would at least buy the $20 a month version and tell your boss to pay for it. It's going to save you more than enough labor time to justify it. Because manually typing this out here, you're at least an hour or two into that project, right? I mean, I think at minimum. Whereas this here, I mean, I went and redid my entire website in like 2 hours once, just going through, copying what's there, adding a couple things and pasting it back in there, instead of having to spend a week long of that, or even a quarter of that. That's my entire goal is I just need to update my website.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Any other questions or anything else that you want to see how would it be a decent way of handling this with handling a use case you have in your business with AI?
I don't know what tool it would be, but as I'm looking, as people are getting more streamlined with workflows and that sort of thing, oftentimes entities are looking at reorgs or whatever, or adapting their organizational structure. So I wonder if AI can help you like take your current org chart and give you other options that would create efficiency. I haven't played it around with it, but AI is making it so that some of the redundant tasks are eliminated and people are worried about job security. Well, I don't think it's a concern as to having a job. I think your scope of work might change to be more strategic and forward thinking. But I'm curious if it could provide, different options on how like departments might be structured or that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I did a AI training, Nutri. Yeah, I was trying to find an example of it, but I couldn't find one. So I was using it. Some of my marketing tasks that I've been working on are to take as much open internet data as I can to create org charts for potential prospects that I'm working on. And you could use the same concept to look at that. If you had your own org chart, which of these positions you might want to put at percentage of utilization or some type of capability in there. So then you could have it give you, and that would be a good task. I would use O1 Pro mode for to come up with a use case for that. That would it would give you, these are examples of positions that likely could be reorged or repositioned, so that way we could better utilize these people. Or these positions here, we see we don't have a use case for this anymore, but what are those skill sets useful based off these other needs or even other open jobs that we have internally at our organization? So those would be use cases for that. I would need some source data to start creating a demo for that. But yeah, for that I would definitely use like O1 Pro mode. And even if you had an example where you wanted to see it, we could get on a side call if you wanted to and try Pro mode. And if it worked well, you can go try pitching to your bosses the $200 a month mode. But for that, you'd probably want at least this is an actual use case on where this works well and this one doesn't.
Okay.
Any other use cases that oh wait, I'm sorry. Someone asked about onboarding and training manuals. Yeah, this will work great for that. So I am onboarding an employee at an IT company in La Crosse, Wisconsin, who services businesses with 10 to 200 employees, predominantly within 70 miles. Could you create so basically here, you would just type all the info about your organization that you're comfortable putting out there, right? So you're just giving it some context to write the org for. You might write, we use Datto, RMM, and other and Datto, RMM, IT Glue, and most other Kaseya products. Could you create an onboarding and training for the first 2 weeks of employment? Oh, while that's doing that, we'll go do this over here too. Oh, come on. And actually, I think open a new tab. Yeah, 01 Mini is quite fast. Look at that. I didn't know 01 Mini is actually faster than 4.0. It's just a different. So the 01 family of models is different than the 4.0 family of models. So 01 Mini is the smallest of the 01 models, which all came out in October, December area. Whereas the 04 model here, or the 01 Pro, is the most powerful of that model. But the 01 Mini on benchmarks outperforms the 4.0, so it's faster and looks like more capable. So that's pretty impressive. I'll take that. So that's an onboarding training manual as well. Is there another example you'd like to see with a different industry, perhaps? All right. Well, I think that's about all I have. If you guys don't have any other use cases or anything that you'd like to see. I'll get you guys the Facebook link if you want to join and chat with us there.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Sorry I had to go mobile here for a second, but flexibility of technology,
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the link for the Facebook page that I'm normally posting just random things I see up there. And
thank you, Rodney. This was very eye-opening.
Thank you.
Hey, good to see you. I didn't see you around here, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you. It was great.
Well, please make sure to come back next month. We look forward to seeing y'all.
Thank you.
We'll be there.
Thank you kindly.
Thanks.
Very, very informative.